Welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel every day in the month of October. It chooses the TV show and they discuss it. Today we're talking about the American Horror Story pilot, which came out in 2011 and was directed by Ryan Murphy. I'm your co-host, Alec.
I'm Eric.
And Eric, you actually chose this.
I wanted this on the wheel really
Yeah.
badly, and I kind of broke the mold and had us do a couple shows. We also have Are You Afraid of the Dark on this wheel, a couple episodes.
Yeah.
So check out that episode coming up. I love American Horror Story.
Yeah.
I loved Murder House. I loved Asylum Season 2. Murder House came out in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Asylum came out the year after. So it became like a ritual, like September, October thing, which I was like, oh, I'm digging this. I love it. The third season was Coven, which I liked, but then it fizzled out. Fourth season was Creep Show, and I watched like 3 episodes. I'm like, I'm not.
Freak Show.
Freak Show. Did I say Creep Show? Sorry. Yeah, Freak Show. Lost interest. And then the 5th season was Hostel, I believe.
Hotel.
I thought it was Hostel. My fault. I could have swore it was Hostel. Okay. And then I watched the first episode and I was like, I don't think this does it for me anymore. But then I watched every season that's come out.
Mm-hmm.
1984, Roanoke. I did not see the most recent ones, the horror stories.
Mm-hmm.
But I would always watch the first episode at least because I loved Murder House so much.
Did you see the 10th season, the newest one?
I haven't. No, I'm going to though. I'm going to.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Have you seen it?
No. I watched the 1984 one last year, and I liked it.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah.
That's sick. Yeah, well, I thought you'd love that one because like it starts like with the 80s, like gym class and like all the 80s shit, and it was pretty good. But I just didn't really like follow up with it.
Yeah, man. Same thing. Like I've seen every single season except for I think Apocalypse is the one that like brings it all together.
Yeah.
That's the only one I haven't seen, and honestly, it's like, I really like the show. I think every season starts so strong. I think it has, like, a great cast. It's always keeping me on my toes, or I'm like, "Where are they gonna go from here?" And it keeps raising the stakes, and
it fizzles.
Every season except for this one, the first season, I feel like every single
even this one, like when they're like putting up Christmas ornaments at the end of the season. I don't want to spoil the rest of the season. We're supposed to talk about season 1, episode 1, the pilot, Murder House specifically. But at the end of the season, it kind of fizzled for me.
I need to rewatch it again because I don't think I've seen it in, I don't even know, 5 years or so. But yeah, the one thing is, I don't know if you've heard of this new show called American Horror Stories. I don't know if you heard of that
on Hulu. It's Hulu exclusive, yeah.
So that apparently, which I didn't know that's what it was. I thought it was like a Twilight Zone kind of thing where every episode would be different. But apparently what it is they revisit previous seasons and they continue the story.
That has my attention now.
Yeah.
I'm a big Murder House fan.
Mm-hmm. So. And it goes Murder House, Asylum, and I think Coven, whatever the third season one, it goes, those are the 3 seasons they're revisiting. So it's kind of like a season of like cycling between those. Like that's what that's the impression I'm under. I haven't seen it though.
Interesting.
So I'm definitely down because you're right. I wasn't satisfied by the way this season ended. I remember being like, come on, like what the fuck? But if there's more to it.
Yeah, as long as they don't water it down. I think Murder House just had the best budget, the best everything in my mind. And Asylum was a close second, but the Murder House is just groundbreaking from how it starts, the music, the acting. The intro is something that sticks in my mind a lot. Ryan Murphy did a fantastic job creating this.
Yeah, he's crazy, dude. He's doing so much stuff. I mean, Nip Tuck and Glee and this and American Crime Story and American Horror Stories now. It's just like he's...
Yeah, he has this other spinoff called Russian Drama Story. It's different, but you should check it out.
Really?
I'm joking.
Oh, I was like, what?
Could you imagine like the Russian horror story? So they got to compete with us. They got to make a Russian horror story movie.
But he's making it, so it's like...
Yeah, no, exactly. They're paying him big bucks.
You mentioned the intro though, and this intro is awesome. It's like it's almost like the Hills Have Eyes kind of thing where it just shows a lot of like creepy imagery really quick.
Oh yeah, you don't want this playing like right before you go to bed. Yeah.
No, the intro, yeah, it's really scary images. The music's terrifying, and I don't know if you know the composer of it is actually the guy who did the Saw score for all of the Saw movies.
That makes sense, yeah.
And he also was part of the 9 Inch Nails. Like he did a lot of the music.
Right. I was gonna say it's very Saw-esque or Texas Chainsaw Massacre with like that, like the chainsaw photo noises and stuff. Yeah, it's amazing. really
Yeah,
is.
and as the season progresses, I know you learn more about what's going on in that house and why there's, like, so many I don't know if they're fetuses or what's in all these jars you're seeing, but
Mhm.
they do explain what that is throughout the season, which is really
Yeah, in the
cool.
basement, like, we go down there and we see, we see all of that and we learn about the doctor eventually, but, yeah, and then flashing back, like, I think it was, like, a September or I used to see this advertised like crazy,
Mhm.
and The Walking Dead, I think, came out this year too, 2011, right? Am I
Maybe.
wrong?
Right around there,
Because
yeah.
I remember watching The Walking Dead and loving it, and then this was advertised everywhere, and I was, like, interested in it because they had, like, a Tainted Love soft sell.
Yeah.
I'll have to send it to you. It's, like, a really, like, cool, like, not piano, but, like,
No, I watched it right before this, actually.
you remember that trailer was awesome, and it
Yeah.
captivated me, and I was like, "I kinda wanna check what this show is." And I
Yep.
think whatever that trailer was hooked a lot of American television, like, viewers, because it was everywhere. It was on football, it was on all different kinds of things, and I remember watching it with my, roommates at the time, like George and Dan and Jimmy and a bunch of other guys, and we watched it every week.
Yeah. Dude, me
Yeah,
too. Me too.
and we loved it.
We were juniors. It was like our first semester junior year of college is when this came out. And 100% dude, I remember like every Wednesday or whenever it was on, I'd
Yeah,
come home and be
exactly.
like, dude, like, and people were talking about it, like it was very, very popular.
Right, right, and, I don't know if you get that anymore with television, it's more streaming stuff now. I remember
Yeah.
that was one of the last television shows I, like, diligently watched.
Week to week,
Um
yeah. Really funny, there's there's a story, dude, I'll never forget this. I was in college, and I was in class one time, and I was talking to some kid in my class, I don't even know who he was, but it was just like we were talking about American Horror Story, and we're like, "Oh, yeah, dude, like, this thing," and I don't even know who this guy was. We were talking about Connie Britton, we were like, "Oh, yeah, and, like, I think the mom is, like, gonna do this." It's like, "Oh, yeah, the mom's pretty hot," and the girl turns around, she's like, "You don't think she's hot, you think her hair's hot."
Alright, first off, Connie Britton is gorgeous with or without hair. Second thing is, she has some of the best hair in Hollywood, period.
I'll never forget that. It was literally 10 years ago, and she was just like, "You're not attracted to her, you're attracted to her hair."
You should
And
have
I was
caught her
like
off guard and be like, "I'm also attracted to Dylan McDermott's hair, so what do you gotta say about that?" And she's just like, "What?" And it's like, "Yeah, exactly."
I just, like, didn't even know how to respond to that. I was just like,
Yeah,
"I
exactly. Screw that.
yeah, she okay, anyways." But yeah, the baby, dude, isn't that scary? Like, we were just going back to the
Yeah, I know, it's
show.
like, "Alright," like,
But yeah, it was really I'll never forget that ever. But yeah, she does have great hair. I'm like, "Dude, Pantene Pro V or whatever, like, you guys
all day
get
Pantene.
get on that."
Yeah.
But yeah, man, for being like a pilot though, it loads a lot onto what's going on. I mean, you get a family moving cross country, you've got
The cheating husband and why they're moving,
yep,
like,
you got
starting anew, like,
the
yeah.
cheating husband, miscarriage, you've got a teenage daughter who's just got like the worst angst of all time.
The worst angst.
Yeah.
Like, they bring up, like, Nirvana in this episode, like, 4 times.
Well, even Evan Peters is dressed like Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, he's a Kurt Cobain head for sure.
So yeah, so you've got this horrible setup for this family. They're moving cross country. They find this huge, beautiful house, and as every horror movie ever, they're like, "Oh, this is really under market value. What did somebody like die here?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, they did."
Yeah, and you can get something in the valley, but it's, like, quarter of the size and twice the price, so it's like, it's a no-brainer, and they
Yeah,
kinda do learn, like, "Hey, people have died here," and the real estate agent, I guess, discloses that, but then doesn't disclose everything.
yeah.
A lot has happened in their house,
Well, I'm
yeah.
also trying to imagine, like, has she not been up to the attic and found that like huge S&M gimp outfit? Like, why was that up
Like,
there?
yeah, that's been up there for a while.
I'm trying to imagine she's been trying to sell this house for a while, but I don't know. I don't remember everything through the whole series, so maybe they answer that.
So
But
you're out in LA, is that where the house is, or is it Pennsylvania?
no, it's in LA. It's
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 in LA. I heard there's, like, some of it was shot in Pennsylvania. I don't know if that holds water.
I know I looked it up, so it's in a place I couldn't find where the place is, but it's called Country Club City or
Okay.
something. So what they did is it's a real house, and they actually CGI'd because it's connected to a church, so they CGI removed the church that it was connected to. But it is in LA, and it is filmed everywhere. And actually, speaking of that, it's not the same place I run, but where Dylan McDermott's running through the hills or whatever, and that guy with the burns is chasing him. I was like,
In episode 2.
in this one.
Oh, this one? Oh, I thought that yeah, I'm mixing
Yeah,
them
when
up.
he's chasing him and he's just like he's telling him about how he lit his wife on and daughters on fire or whatever, but he's chasing him through the hills, and I was like, "That looks a lot like where I hike, here." And then I was thinking like,
Ah,
"Damn,
shit.
that'd
Was
be a
it?
No, it's probably not. But I was like, that'd be a really scary thing to have like a fucking guy in a suit with half his head melted chasing you on a hiking trail by yourself. I was like, that's pretty fucking scary.
Yeah, that's nightmare stuff for sure.
Yeah, never really thought about that. Speaking of him jerking off and then looking out the window and the guy's just standing there.
Yeah, that was weird. Also, I don't know if this is like Alexander Breckenridge's start because she's the reason why he goes and does that. She's a huge star now, and she's in like Virgin River, I think it's called, a bunch of other shows. But I think she plays like the young maid.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I don't know, I haven't seen her in anything. Maybe I just missed the stuff she's been
she's a
in.
big star, dude. She's huge.
Yeah, this was 10 years ago, so yeah, that whole idea, I can't remember the maid's name, but the whole concept of, like, men see her as, like, young and attractive, and women see her as old and, like, nice.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, at least in this episode, because we do see Violet and Connie Britton's character, they both see her as the old version, you
It's
know?
like the house put this curse on her that does that.
Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
I know, 'cause I mean, 'cause regarding I've only seen the pilot, for the past, like, 5 years, so I don't remember kinda what happens next, but it does nice setup, so, again, you've got the house, you've got it for undervalue, and then you slowly meet this cast of characters, like the maid, the guy with the burn victims who's like, "Hey, this used to be my house, and I killed my family," or whatever, which is like, you find out that there's been 3 murders in that house, separate murders, and he's still not like, "We should get out of here."
Yeah, and I mean, I think the main thing that happens in this house, I don't want to spoil it, but like one of the greatest horror crimes stories in America happens in this house. And they go into that later in the season. So I don't want to spoil it because it's not fair to just talk about the rest of the show, but it does do a true American horror story.
Yeah, it makes you kinda feel like you're watching, like, a mishmash of, like, The Shining and, Rosemary's Baby. I don't know, like, House Possessions, or I don't even know.
Also, Jessica Lange,
Oh my god, oh my god.
stellar performance,
Yeah.
like insane acting,
She is literally from the first second she appears on screen, I'm just like,
phenomenal,
yeah.
phenomenal, right?
Captivated, every little thing she does, I'm just like, "Oh my god." She is I mean, her character is brutally horrible, though, like, just within the first few minutes of meeting her, we're like, "Okay, she's really mean to mentally handicapped people. She's racist. She just, like, has no filter. She's not a nice person."
Yeah, she doesn't have any personal space. Like, doesn't give anyone personal space is what I mean too. She just breaks in like with I think her name's Adelie,
Yeah.
her daughter. Yeah, like she's racist. She's terrible mother. Like it's so crazy.
Well, she's a not a terrible mother, because she's very defensive when Connie Britton's like, "You can't keep coming in here. You can't keep telling me I'm gonna die in here," and all this stuff. And then she's like, "If you touch my child again, I'll break your arm."
Yeah, but she also later in the season. I don't want to get later in the season. Locks her in
Yeah,
a closet for like a hour. Like
yeah. It's like Carrie.
she's not that great.
Yeah. Great actress, terrible character.
Yeah, exactly.
Evan Peters too, dude. He's
Yeah, he really hit the map with this. I mean, I think he was in X-Men right around this time.
No, that's later. That was a couple years after
That was a
this.
couple years late. This put him on the map hard, I think.
Oh yeah. Dude, second I saw him, I was like, damn, dude, he really reminded me of a young Johnny Depp for some reason. Right when I saw him, I was like, God, this kid.
Yeah, something about him. He has like this look, this stare, this expression that you can just like an aura. Like it's like this kid, he has it.
Yeah, he's really good. I guess like his character, obviously, like, we find out what happens later in the season, but it's just
I
kind
know
of
it's so hard to talk about the whole season, but
right.
yeah,
But it's funny that Dylan McDermott, I can't remember his name, but Dylan McDermott's character, Ben, that he is just kind of like he has this patient already, and it's like, how did you get here? Like, where are you from?
how
Like,
does a ghost have health insurance? Like, tell me that,
yeah,
Alec.
yeah, yeah. It's like, are you with Aetna or Blue Cross? And well, I guess you could just kind of like chalk it up to like once
The
they enter
house.
the
It's the
house,
house. It's the
yeah,
house.
yeah,
Yeah,
they stop thinking about things and they stop questioning
absolutely,
things.
absolutely.
The scene that I thought had great like acting, I guess, is when Dylan McDermott and Connie Britton like freak out at each other.
And he's like, I screwed up.
It's been a year since we have had sex.
You got a dog. Like
Yeah,
that seems
dude,
great. It's so real. It feels
dude,
real, right?
The worst thing he could have said, though, was like, "I could show you statistics of men that cheat after miscarriages," and it's just like, what's that
Oh,
gonna do?
shut up. That
I
doesn't
know.
help you at all,
I know.
dude.
I'm trying to imagine when he said that, what was the best case scenario in his mind? Where he'd just be like, "Okay, here they are. Let's sit down and read them. Now, does this make you feel better?" She's like, "No, you still did it."
You're a dick. Like, why would you ever say that?
Yeah, it's like that's just saying like, "Oh, people that smoke cigarettes, I'll show you statistics of they die from cancer." It's like, "O okay."
Yeah,
Exactly. You're
he's all like the super duper, "I'm the smartest guy because 'cause I'm a, therapist."
I
Ugh,
yeah. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I just thought it was really like I'm like, "You are pulling
you're
out
a piece
some."
of shit, and you
Yeah.
have nothing. You should apologize and walk away.
Yeah, I know. He's just like, "How long are you gonna punish me by not fucking me?" And she's just like, "You cheated on me." Like,
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of Dylan McDermott,
oh,
he aged so well. Dude, he was in, like, Miracle on 34th Street.
what when? In, like, 1940?
I'm gonna look up the date. What no, there's a remake from 1994. He looks exactly like this. So I'm thinking, like, Paul Rudd, all that stuff. It's like, this guy has that same Paul Rudd gene.
I looked him up too because I was like, "How older is everybody?" And yeah, I was like, "Whoa, he's 50 in this?" But
Yeah, yeah.
he, apparently stopped drinking when he was, like, 25.
That
So
does it. That does the trick.
that's I guess he was
That helps.
pretty bad alcoholic, so I think, going 30 years without alcohol, he probably is gonna
Yeah,
look better than the average
for
50-year-old.
sure, for
I don't
sure.
know.
But yeah, Connie Brin, same deal, full circle. She was in Friday Night Lights and beyond that, and she aged amazing. So
I know.
Paul Rudd gene. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, she's also in, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake too, she's the mom, and I was like, "She did a good job."
Oh, I forgot she was in that. So she's a horror person. So there you go.
Yeah, I just like her as an actress, I
My
don't
mom
know.
likes watching that Nashville show. I know it's over now, I think, but she was good in Nashville too, apparently.
Yeah, this has got such a great cast, and I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't really know many of them until the show. I mean, I didn't really know Connie Britton or Dylan McDermott. I knew Jessica Lange from King Kong, but that's about Tootsie,
King
Tootsie.
Kong, yeah, she was in the King Kong with the when they climb up the Twin Towers instead of the Empire State Building, right?
The
Or in King Kong.
76 version, I think, yeah.
Who's the main guy in that? I forget his name.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember her either, yeah, but she was great in Tootsie too. Dude, Jessica Lange is
Tootsie, right, with
Dennis Hoffman and Jessica Lange, yeah, and Bill
Bill
Murray.
Murray. Yeah, dude, that movie's awesome. Tootsie's
Dude,
great.
but Jessica Lange is yeah, dude, I love her. I love Jessica Lange. She's yeah,
Yeah.
as like a Southern belle, just this like piece of shit.
I try so hard, but you don't know what it's like to be me. So good.
Dude, she won an Emmy for this.
She deserved every damn piece of that statue. Yeah.
I know. Apparently, she didn't wanna do it initially. I guess Ryan Murphy had to beg
It's
because
for the show. It's for the
but
show face.
I
Like,
guess she didn't really, know that it was like a cable, channel, so they had more like they could make it shorter seasons, and she's like, "Well, I don't wanna do like 25 seasons," and he's like, "No, no, we're doing like 12." She's like, "Wait, really?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I thought this was like a whole season." It's like, "It is, but like it's cable, so it's different." Yeah, then she was like, "Oh, fuck," and then she jumped right on it, and then yeah, and then 4
crushed
seasons
it.
later
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I remember in Freak Show she has like a song ensemble part of it, like with David Bowie,
Oh,
like "This is the greatest show." It's
no,
like,
dude, it's
what was
Life
it?
on Mars.
Oh yeah, yeah. But doesn't she do like the greatest show, like something like that?
She says, "It's the freakiest
Freakiest
show."
show. That's it. Yeah, yeah,
That's
dude. I'm thinking Greatest Showman in my head too. That's so funny.
that's from the David Bowie song, though. That's actually
It's the freakiest show,
dude, that's
dude.
my
That's what I was thinking.
favorite David Bowie song of all time.
But
That's "Life on Mars" is the best David Bowie song. Fight me. Fight me.
uh, I won't fight you on that. I love Heroes. I love Changes, but not to get into it. But
Yeah, yeah.
Life on Mars is probably his best.
I just
We can talk a whole podcast about David Bowie,
you
but let's not
probably
go there. One thing I want to do, and I want to derail this podcast right now just for you. So I told you like, hey, Lake Compounds, which is like the American Horror Story, American theme park.
my roommate worked there.
Yeah, has in LA, right? Your roommate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is in Bristol, Connecticut. It's right across the street from the headquarters of ESPN. It is the best amusement park, like small but beautiful roller coaster tycoon in an amusement park. They used to have this thing every October, Haunted Graveyard. I've been to it, no joke. Alec can vouch for me. 15 years in a row from I think 2003 to 2018. So I stopped in 2019, I think right after my wedding. I forgot why. Maybe it was work. Maybe it was I was in another wedding.
You're like, "I'm married now, so I shouldn't be
No,
going
no,
to
no.
this
But
place?"
I dragged Shannon to it, dude. Like 5 years, 5 or 6 years. Yeah, no, for real. So I stopped going in 2019 before COVID. So my year where I broke my I streak, and I texted like Kelly Harper, who's been on this podcast, and who was gone with us as well. Like, hey, the streak ends today. She's like, what do you mean? It's like, it's October 31st. I didn't make it to Haunted Graveyard. Oh my God, an end of an era. And then COVID happens. Here we are now. Haunted Graveyard doesn't exist anymore, but they are bringing back something called Happy Hauntings, which is like a family friendly version of it. I'm thinking like, this is year one of Happy Hauntings. Like, I'm like kind of like, do I go? Even though it's like going to be kids trick or treating, it's like I should just start this streak. I should just do it again. I feel a little bit more comfortable with COVID, but not to get into that. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. Like the American horror theme park. That's what made me think of it. Like American Horror Story, American theme park. It's also America's oldest, longest running theme park too.
Yeah, okay. I for some reason thought this had something to do with American Horror Story and not like
Nothing at all. I just wanted to derail it and just let you know like that little tidbit there. So
yeah, no, I love like compounds.
you've been to Haunted Graveyard with me like what,
Many,
two or three times,
many
right?
times.
Yeah,
Many
exactly.
times.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
And we'd go around. I'd go around, like, oh, get ready for the spooky ghost around the corner. Like, there he is. See, told you. Like, oh, get ready for this next room. This next room's awesome. Like,
It's like a less corporate version of Fright Fest at Six Flags. That's kind of what it feels like. You know, they'll like hire not whoever, they'll hire like people that work there and their friends and stuff, but it doesn't feel as kind of like corporate. I don't know.
yeah. I know we've derailed quite a bit, but like, I've always had that dream in the back of my mind, or like a news cruise outside. It's like, hey, sir, like, can you stop for an interview and talk to us about Haunted Graveyard? It's like, yep. It's like, what do you need to know? It's like, so what do you think of Haunted Graveyard? Every year in my life, I go to Haunted Graveyard. I just have a southern accent all of a sudden. Like, every year in my life, I go to Haunted Graveyard. Every year it gets better. Love every second of it. Every family in America should come here. It's the best. I've gone here 15 years in a row. Love it. Loving it and listing it.
Didn't you make a t-shirt that said like I've been here 20
I wanted to the 15th year, but I didn't.
Yeah.
It was just me and Shannon that went. We didn't go with anyone else.
Oh yeah. No, I used
It's
to
like,
love
we're
it.
not gonna get 2 t-shirts and just walk around, but I did want to do that. I did tell a couple people though while I was there, like, this is my 15th year, and they're like, really? It's like, yeah, it's kind of cool, right? And they're like, no, it's not.
The only thing I think that like compounds kind of has above anything else is the free soda, and then also the
They got rid of free soda too, I think.
Okay, well then there you go. And then Boulder Dash is like an amazing wooden roller coaster.
I don't know if I can go on that. My back might not handle it the way it used to. We'll see. You bet your bottom dollar. I'm gonna be on Boulder Dash again. So,
anyways, back to American Horror Story.
back to American Horror Story. Sorry, I just had to derail for a second.
No. I'm glad I get the information on Lake Compounds all the way on
There
the
you
west.
got it. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I think.
I want to talk about that bully with Violet and the whole like drug fucking trap they set for her. I was just like that.
Well, I mean, come on. She was a little you're smoking near people. You got to be a little considerate. I agree with
Sure.
the bully, but the way she handled it was not. Is all in the bully's approach.
She could have been like, "Hey, I know you're new here, but you're not allowed to smoke. It is 2011. Why are you smoking anyways? What are we
This
doing?"
is in '93. I know you're wearing a Kurt Cobain shirt, but come on, grow up.
Yeah. But then the way that they get her back, dude, first of all, she says, like, I like Coke. We make it clear. She's like, my nipples were like numb for fucking 2 days or whatever. So we know she likes Coke. And she walks up to the girl. She's like, I know what you want. You want drugs. Come on over to my house.
You want drugs? I got drugs. Got the best drugs in town. I know what
Yeah.
you want. I'm gonna give it to you.
It sounds like a 12-year-old trying to like talk. It's just like she should have been like, hey, so I know you're into blow. I have a lot from the East Coast. You want like she should have been a little smoother.
Like, hey, I'd like to mend the fence with you. Like, do you want to just buy some drugs off me? I have the best shit in town.
But drugs, what does drugs mean? That's so vague. Like, I've got drugs. She's like, oh, drugs? I like drugs.
I have ibuprofen. Like, yeah.
No, but it could have been like any. It could have been Xanax. It could have been mushrooms. It could have been Molly. Like we don't.
What
know
is this? This is Robitussin. If you chug the whole bottle, you get a Robo Trip. It's a lot of fun. We should try it.
Like, I can't believe I Ubered over here. It's bullshit.
There was an Uber back in 2011. I don't think.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah, you're probably right. But yeah, so I love that. And then when they bring her to the basement, dude, and they just scratch the shit. That's probably the scariest part of the whole episode.
Oh, they can. Her face is scarred forever and ever.
Yeah.
That's not healing properly.
No, but also, yeah, like she just gets away with that. Like there's the cops don't get called or anything, and I don't know. So
Yeah.
that whole drug thing, I was kind of like, come on, Brian Murphy, you're better than that.
And we do see some cops show up in the series. Like, it's not like things don't go down.
Yeah, no, they definitely do. Oh yeah, dude. So when Connie Britton too, when she catches Dylan McDermott cheating and she calls the police, did you notice that the woman who answers the phone, she's just like, "Are you sure it's not somebody from your house or whatever?" Why are you she's calling?
Don't set that up. Like, don't foreshadow. You're supposed to just be like, "Are you okay? Like, run out of your house right now. Like, get out of your house. We'll be there."
Yeah,
And that's what you do when you have a home invasion. Like, you call and then leave.
That's it. You just call. Like, the police should be like, okay, we're sending somebody, not
They
like,
should tell her to get out of the house.
yeah. So that was like, why the hell would they do that? But
Are you sure it's not the wind? It's like, what the? No, it's not the fucking wind. Like, I'm calling you. Do you think I'm calling the cops for the wind?
yeah, do you want to go check though? It's like, no, just send somebody. I paid for you to come.
I know. These
Yeah,
are my tax dollars.
I know. Yeah, that was a little strange. The other line I kind of wish that it was a little bit changed is when Jessica Lange says to the older maid when she's like, "Don't make me kill you again."
Yeah. It's like, what? That's a bomb.
I know. I almost kind of wish it was like, "Don't make me do it again." So it's like a little more vague, and then obviously as the season progresses, they explain that. But it's just like, damn, you're dropping that real quick.
I got a question. Do you know? I don't think Dylan McDermott's been in any other seasons. He wasn't in Asylum. I don't think.
No, he does come back. I saw that he reprised something. So
He should have been one of the more anthology recurring characters. He was great.
really quick, speaking of Dylan McDermott, you're gonna tell me that
Go.
The Last of Us, have you heard of that video game?
Yeah.
Dude, look up The Last of Us, look up that character Joel, and tell me for a fact
I'm doing it right now.
they didn't just blindly base this off of Dylan McDermott. Tell
All right,
me.
let me see.
You tell me.
Joel. Yeah, with a beard. Yep.
Dude,
Yeah, that's him.
they just did a live action, I don't know if it's a movie or a TV show, and they
Pedro Pascal's doing it, right?
give me a fucking break.
He doesn't look like goddamn Joel.
Dude, this guy, Dylan McDermott, looks identical to Joel.
He would be great. I mean,
I
he's
was-
a little too LA though. I don't know.
I was so bummed when they didn't cast him. I was just like, God damn it. The second I saw Last of Us, I was like, wow, they just took that guy and made him into a video game character. I wonder if he's playing the character. And I was like, oh, okay, it's not him, but looks exactly like him. And the last thing, when it starts off in 1978, that's like the very first shot. You get the two twin boys who get murdered in the house in 1978. And then it just goes, now?
Yeah, right.
You can't like do that in movies because people are going to watch this 10 years later right now. So it's like, what does now mean?
Right.
I don't know, especially for a show that's so like committed to having these like timelines all happening at different times. Like it takes place in the 20s, then the 70s, then the 90s, and like all these different times. It's kind of weird that they wouldn't specify the year that the modern story is taking place.
Yeah, dude. That's a good point.
I don't know. Overall, I did want to immediately watch the second episode, so did a good job.
I think, yeah, dude, I was hooked. Dude, and it brings me back watching it every season. Also, just want to give a shout out to Zachary Quinto, who is in this show a lot. He's also in Asylum. He's in, I think, the 4th or 5th episode. It's like a Halloween episode.
Yep.
Really just amplified the power of the season and the show. I thought he did a great job. It was amazing what he brought to the show was like powerful acting.
I know. I kind of wish he would have came back for following seasons too, because he was really good.
Yeah.
So Eric, another thing about Mr. Dylan McDermott. I hope you're ready for this.
I think I have a feeling where you're going.
I bet you do. You can add him to your POCT list.
My Pride of Connecticut list?
Yes. Dylan McDermott was born in Waterbury, Connecticut.
God bless, dude. He's a good one to add. He's a good one to add to the Pride of Connecticut list.
Oh, it's funny because you said he just looks too LA. He looks too LA.
He does now, dude. He does now. But back in the day, dude, he was Connecticut. He was just so much Connecticut, so much fall foliage, so much
Dunkin' Donuts,
so much Merritt Parkway, so much Route 15, so much 84 eastbound, Danbury.
You're just naming highways?
Do you know what town he's from?
Waterbury.
He's from Waterbury. All right, word.
Pride of Waterbury.
The Pride of Waterbury. All right, here we go. Connecticut, Pride.
Yeah.
Anyway, you wanna spin the wheel? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it may be time to spin the wheel.
I think anyone who listens to this is an American Horror Story fan. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Not trying to rag on the show, but I kind of personally lost interest, although I still keep up with it.
I'm gonna give American Horror Stories a shot. I really am.
You know what? After you told me that, I think I will too.
Yeah, I want to see where it goes. It's kind of cool.
Let me pull up the wheel. All right, Alec. Spinning. Oh, girl. Halloween, the 2018 sequel. Let's do it. Let's go.
We kind of had to fudge that, but honestly, whatever, because we're going to re-talk about this movie, and then the next day, Halloween Kills comes out.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
We promise you, if you're listening, you have to listen to this next episode and the Halloween Kills episode. It's our bread. It's our bread and butter.
And then also, if you haven't, we did a trailer recap, which came out on the 10th, so you can check that out too. And then we have a big surprise that's coming, so it's more than a podcast now.
Da-da-da. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for listening in to our discussion on American Horror Story, the pilot, and we'll see you all tomorrow with Halloween 2018.